Welcome to a SimCenter AimSim Student Edition tutorial covering how to create and edit supercomponents. Supercomponents are user-created, custom components made of multiple submodels, with benefits including helping to make a model more organized, being able to be saved for repeated use, and streamlining parameterization and testing. Here, we will discuss how the supercomponent within the thermal wall tutorial video was created, as well as additional functions and options for the future. The original model without supercomponents is shown here. The submodels needed to be compiled into one represent the heat transfer behavior for the exterior side of the wall, being the radiation and convection components to the left, along with the temperature converter from the signal source and thermal nodes on each side. To begin, select all these components by highlighting or left-clicking on each while holding Control. Next, there are three options to compile them into a supercomponent. Right-clicking and selecting Create Supercomponent, pressing the button of the same name from the top ribbon, and by pressing Ctrl-W. For now, select Replace with Values for the pop-up window shown, and once done, a generic supercomponent icon will be present within the model, having ports compatible with the connections already made before generating it. Making changes to the supercomponent can be done by right-clicking it and selecting Open. A new tab will appear with a new symbol and the supercomponent's name. The selected submodels from before are present in the sketch window. To the left, a new window will appear, titled the Supercomponent Edition, providing further options for customization. This window can be made available through the Show/Hide options in the Edit dropdown if not present. The initial tab for the new window is the Properties for the component. Moving to the tab's Image subsection, this allows for a user to assign an image to replace the default supercomponent icon. It can be uploaded from a file or be selected from a variety of stock images available within AimSim. And if you have your own stock image directory on your machine, you can navigate to that one through the same option. After an image is selected, the ports for the supercomponent can be displayed or hidden, and if the photo is not desirable, the Reset Image option will change the icon back to the default. The next subheading allows for the width and height of the icon to be manipulated. If an image is entered, the width to height ratio is maintained. A user can then change the name of the supercomponent by entering it here. The final heading for Embedded Tools, which, after selecting Manage, opens a menu to make additions of apps, scripts, or plots that can be added to the supercomponent by selecting the desired add-on and pressing New Reference. Once one is added, its properties can be checked, and the tool can be deleted with the buttons to the right. The next tab, Component Icon, is for Advanced Component Design. The display shows the current component icon. Opening the Designer tool, there are two options available. Ports is selected first and allows the user to have their position changed around the edge of the available canvas, which is what is displayed for the icon. The options available from the ribbon above include zooming in and out, fitting the canvas to the screen, having shapes snap into a particular position, and to disable or enable the grid. The second tab above, labeled Icon, contains more options to add shapes such as rectangles, ellipses, lines, and text, which are all available to the left. The pen for these aspects can be edited to be solid, dashed, or dotted, with different levels of thickness. The fill and stroke can be manipulated for the shape with sliders to the right, allowing for them to be layered and placed as desired. Shortcuts for the fill and stroke are now available in the top ribbon too, as well as options to rotate shapes 90 degrees in either direction, or by a custom angle, flipping the shape vertically or horizontally, and bringing them forward or behind others in the sketch. Additional options include adding an image that can be placed or sized the same as a shape, and the ability to resize the canvas. Once the design is adequate, pressing Save below confirms it. The next option in the Component Icon tab is to get from a category. Once selected, a pop-up window appears, showing all the libraries available. From here, the user can select icons from these libraries that have ports that match the supercomponent. Unselecting the option below to show compatible components will display all component icons to be able to be selected from. But if choosing one that does not have the same ports, the sketch for the supercomponent must be adjusted to match the ports. A reset option is available here as well, that restores the default icon, but if ports changed due to selecting an incompatible icon, they will remain. Ports can be added and deleted from the component straight from the sketch window, where they are represented with small tabs that contain their port type and the port number. Changing these ports within the sketch window is as simple as editing components on a sketch, beginning with deleting the unneeded ports. Afterwards, ports can be added back in from the ports library, where all the available port types are there to be selected from, working in the same way as a component on a sketch. To know if a port is in an acceptable location, the icon will change from a dark shade to a lighter one, and the component will change like how it would in a normal sketch when all ports are filled. The supercomponent sketch can also be edited. For example, let's add heat flux sensors between both the radiation and convection components to see how much heat each is contributing to the wall. Signal ports can be attached to the outputs for each sensor, completing the sketch. And once completed, the ports can be moved around to be in logical positions on the supercomponent icon, and names can be assigned to them below for easier implementation. Now that the supercomponent is fully customized, it simply needs to be repositioned within the main sketch, where the model will behave the same as if the components were still present directly within it. And with this concludes the introduction of the supercomponent feature and customization options. Thank you for watching, and check for part 2 about saving and reusing supercomponents.